It's a reading rainbow.
The library's open. Calling in remotely from the airport from LAX.
Coming to you remotely live, very late from LAX. It's the one and only.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like
the
really late where you
sometimes
are.
followed internet drag race superfan, creator of Lisa Kudrow memes, David Levitz.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it. And coming to you from the,
the depths of the swamp that the depths of the swamp that Raja O'Hara wishes she were qualified to read somebody about.
It is the internationally recognized Pokemon super champion and fashionista, fashion icon, and bar superstar, Mr. Foster Hughes.
I am ostensibly all those things, although I think I fail on all counts. So, hey, how's it going?
All right, so what happened this episode? Some people thought it was like super good, and others thought it was bland.
Honestly,
I thought that it was somewhere in the middle.
I think this is one of the best acting challenges that they've had in years, probably the entirety of the show. And almost exclusive.
Okay, so you agree with Reddit, and you disagree with mainstream TV recappers of the internet.
Here's what I have to say. I'm saying that almost exclusively based on the strength of the performance of the team that did get out. Because I just think, even though, the writing's like whatever, the writing for that was much better than the other one and is better than the standard of writing that they give them on these shitty scripts for their acting challenges. And also that team just like mostly killed it, other than the two people who were ultimately in the bottom. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It, actually made sense. It had a beginning, middle, and end, and some sort of plot that you could follow. But I will say that Draconda's sketch was very much in line with the other offerings from previous acting challenges, like very scattered and just like dumb. Not great.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was potential there. Both the scripts needed these girls to be smart enough to finesse them themselves. You know what I mean? And I think the only girls who actually ad-libbed lines were the ones who couldn't remember any of them. Silky, Nutmeg, Ganache. How many degrees does it take for you to have to remember that many lines? Because she didn't really have that many. I'm sorry. I don't want to read her too hard.
It was like she was given this like long run-on sentence that honestly didn't even sound. It sounded like she was making it up on the spot, even when she got it correct.
It's not that wrong.
So,
it's not that long of a sentence. Haven't you realized by now this whole film is a metaphor for mainstream culture's appropriation of drag culture? That's not a very long clause.
There are better ways to phrase that. I wouldn't feel comfortable writing that sentence on a page.
No, that's the way I talk,
as
girl.
a writer.
That's how I talk, so don't come for me. Hi. Hello.
I suppose.
Welcome to my channel.
All right, so
I've taken over this space. So let's do like the Reader's Digest version of this, because I don't want to be here all night, okay, Maury?
I agree. Also because my flight is boarding in probably like 45 minutes. Okay, so
let's
we've got a mini challenge where they have to photobomb.
I think this
do
was
we care about it?
I kind of don't. Silky Nutmeg is still doing the most. She gets fully naked, which, good for her. Brooklyn also wins in a weird, basically, performance as Katya. I don't know, Didn't it?
Ooh, that is very on the nose.
Really reminiscent, right?
I didn't realize. But yeah, I also thought it did. Were you? How did you feel about the fact that they did not blur Silky Nutmeg's male-presenting nipples? I guess, and they typically blur or
her ashy elbows. I free the nipple. I guess that's what I have to say. And also, free whoever's...
but they've been blurring everything else.
Yeah, no, I think...
they'll even blur a breastplate.
I guess if you want to do a close reading, that's probably really problematic, because the message it's sending is that Silky somehow isn't like a human body, which is really kind of gross to think about. But I don't think we have time to really unpack all of that.
Damn, that's really grim.
I'm actually really troubled by that realization you gave me, but maybe they just got lazy too. Like maybe they gave it to the intern to edit and she was like, I think it looks great. Maybe it's like that.
Yeah, it was a choice, but we don't need to dig into it further. Moving on. Yeah, that was like, I don't know. This was sort of a filler challenge for me. I don't know if there were any other notable moments, the photos they chose. I wasn't.
Oh, the photo
really
bombing?
paying attention.
Yeah, it was really whatever. I mean, this is a vehicle with no prize, no meaning behind it. That's arbitrarily a way for the producers to assign 2 captains to 2 teams. And really, they were just using it to reinforce who episode 1 deemed the various winners. Brooklyn won the challenge. Silky Nutmeg won the screen time. And so naturally, those 2 win the mini challenge.
And she won the mini challenge
for no other reason than just continuity.
Yeah, Silky also won the mini challenge in the first episode. So. Continuing that trend.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was a reason for Ru to showcase all of the people he's been spending his time with. All the celebrity friends.
No. It was dumb. Let's stop talking about it.
All right. So moving on. We talked a little about the main challenge.
Well, before that, so the whole arc of this narrative, you know how last episode was all about Silky? This episode is entirely about Scarlet, apparently. Because she's very hurt that she was picked last and that people would read her dress for having actual holes in it that the camera spotted. Which, if you watch that runway back from last episode, you can fully see the holes in that dress on the runway, too.
Could you? I didn't realize until it was pointed out in this episode. I thought it looked real right until they showed that.
I didn't notice it the first time or the second time I watched it before we reviewed, but since it was pointed out, I looked at it again, and yeah, they're very apparent.
Wow.
Wow. So anyway, Scarlett is Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, and whatever, girl. So they're doing acting challenges.
Lots of people had some Jinx Monsoon delusion comments about her, especially in the beginning of the episode.
I guess. I mean, ultimately her performance was good, serviceable. We'll talk about it more later. I just think that the problem I have is not even with her reaction, but just with how heavy-handed the storytelling is and like the forced narrative arc that they've built into this episode. Because, spoiler alert, I kind of don't think Scarlett deserved to win. I think she won because we were told she won on the merit of the way the episode was progressing and what things had just happened to her. And it kind of annoys me that the pity person who always gets that story is always a white girl. Like, let's be real.
Okay, well, let's back it up a moment. Let's get what did you catch from their rehearsals, or I guess the shooting footage?
Well, very early on, Plastique is going for like very stereotypical Vietnamese speech. Very you're reminiscent of like this like Full Metal Jacket like bad racial humor, which is something that RuPaul's Drag Race has always thrived on, doesn't pretend to be better than because it's not better than it. And I guess I've had a lot of discussions with people who are fans of the show who think that this particular avenue is where it becomes problematic. And what I've told them is that, to me, this shows that Plastique is really smart because she understands the framework of the show that she's working within. You know, like, if you're a viewer of this show, you know that RuPaul loves this, like, very, you know, the cheapest race-baiting humor. You know what I mean? And that's what she gave, and of course RuPaul and Michelle liked it. And outside of whether it was kind of cheap laughs, she did it well. She performed her lines well. She had presence and one pair of boots. But that's most of what I noticed from the rehearsal, because immediately it then became the Silky show again, where RuPaul was stirring the pot and being like, oh, well, who do you not like? Because I heard from production, obviously, everyone hated Silky last episode, so I'm going to pick at it. And They all said Silky. They all said Silky. And then naturally it's like, hey, Silky, guess what they said? And Silky's like, what did they say? And they're like, they said you only have 1 degree in management. And Silky said, oh, no, ma'am, I have 2 and almost a PhD. So, I don't know. To me, like, I want more competition from the show and less forced drama. Because these queens are capable of making their own drama. And the problem is that the show has reduced down the competition time so that they have less to be mad about. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they were winning more prizes...
I kind of agree, but...
If they were winning more...
I think there's an element of... Sorry, you finish.
If they were winning more prizes, if they were having more mini challenges that meant anything, and if more of the time of what they were doing was dedicated to actual competition, there would be more of a reason for them to have natural emotion.
So I actually thought, like, it was pretty refreshing to see Ru actively stirring the pot on camera, because I'm pretty sure that that's, like, how producers have been getting all the drama from the queens throughout previous seasons,
right.
Especially lately. It's just that we don't see that part of it. We only see the drama.
That's
so
fair.
I thought it was actually kind of, like, refreshing to see, not only, like, see it at work, but see Ru at least in pretense involving himself in that like production element of
right.
like getting the queens to open up about drama.
Yeah.
It gives you more of a sense that he's at least involved in what makes the show. But I agree, like in an ideal world, it would all be about the challenges. It's just that like at this point, I'm sure that they've like cut the time on production. They're just like, they know what marks they have to hit and they're condensing the challenges. They're making the drama happen on the same day. Like they know what buttons they need to push to have it take less time.
You're right.
So it's just an inevitable reality.
You're right. It's nice that the curtain is drawn back a little and you can see more of the apparatus. I just think there should be less apparatus. That's all, you know.
We're living in a real world of reality TV in 2019.
A
There's
real
going to be an
fake,
apparatus.
real fake world.
A real fake world. Okay, so then we get what did I have? I didn't have much to say about the rehearsals. I just felt like, you know, it was your standard.
Nothing
Someone
really
has
happened.
trouble with a line. Yeah. Somebody's not good. Whatever.
Oh, you mean the actual
Miss
rehearsals?
Needs a shout out.
Okay, like when they're actually recording. Okay, obviously there's. Let's take a long time to celebrate the magic, the culture, the beauty, the splendor, the talent, the wisdom, the revelation that is opulence. You earn everything. Because I love Mercedes. This was amazing. This is TV gold. I think the Mercedes is unfortunately underserved here in the sense that in the past, the show has been able to take moments of queens doing stuff like this, making a fool of themselves, mispronouncing, not understanding a word, and make it directly a celebration and not punish them for it. Like I'm reminded of like Sequence Dress, of basically everything that Yara Sofia did on her season was made into a joke in a good way. Do you know what I mean? And that was not done for Mercedes here, even though this is like on that level of like earwormy, amazing, pure magic. Like I love this so much. It's brought me so much joy. I keep watching the clip. Everyone is saying it and texting it to each other. You can use it in literally any purpose in text. Opulence, like you can spell it any way you want to. I love this.
Yeah, I've seen it pronounced as the Uplands. Like, is it Uplands? Is it Opera Lens?
No,
there's one that's Opera Lens and it has Ru with the opera glasses.
Opulence. It's opulence. It's not Upperlands. It's not Operalands.
I mean, it leaves room for interpretation. It's a flexible meme.
Well, can I just say, though, I do own everything. And so as a person who also a fellow person who owns everything, I love the opulent lifestyle. I'm certainly not living it anymore. I love Mercedes. I think this alone made me really like her. the whole episode endeared you to Mercedes in so many different ways. And even if she goes no further than the next episode, which I don't know, but you know what I mean? It seems like the writing's already on the wall there for her. The show has made up its mind. Even if she only has one more episode, I think this episode has been great because you saw Opulence should just be on all her merch, first of all. So that's the marketing element right there. She got out her story about the way that the U.S. government has fucked her over, and also her stroke. So there's a lot to sympathize with Mercedes. And by the end, she's shown us the talent that brought her here. You know, she's great at performing. And I hope that she can bring that into the next episode and actually stay a while, because I think she has a lot more to offer, if maybe not clothes. I like Mercedes, and I didn't really, even being from the same city, and I've seen her before, I didn't really know that much about her, really, before this, you know? I didn't know anything about her stroke. So this episode has been wonderful, and I just hope that she can harness it in the best way and capitalize on it. And I'm a little worried she won't, because I watched the viewing party at Roscoe's with her and T-Rex and Monique Hart, and she basically let Monique steamroll all over her. She was super quiet, and she didn't capitalize on the laughs and the response she was getting from the audience. And I don't know if that's just she's reserved or timid or doesn't quite know how to make a marketing strategy out of what the show is doing for her. But whatever the case, I wish the best for her. And hopefully there is a lot more time for her to grow and for her to make something of the show. So that's that.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's great, and I thought her story was really interesting. From the shoot, though, I would say there has to be a mention for Hello, 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 Christine, and the entire embodiment of Miss Vanjie's cool dad.
Oh my God.
Because it genuinely was just like the best juxtaposition, just the look and the voice and the awkward delivery. Every delivery, every time she did it was slightly different, but always very awkward. I thoroughly enjoyed.
This was a weird, like, bravura performance, and nothing made sense together, right? Like, the wig with his, like, dad look in, like, full, like, man pants didn't make any sense. The voice was literally just Vanjie. If anything, a little, like, more gruff. The characterization, they took her first take, right? Like, they told her to change it, but then they didn't do anything with what they told her to change, I don't think, right?
They said that, like, she was just being herself and, like, try to be a more dorky dad.
Yeah, but the thing...
And that's when she did...
It was better before. I don't know. It was weird. And the best part is at the very end when Akira tases everyone. And for like a full like 45 seconds to a minute, Vanjie's legs are still like seizing.
Yes, such an acting choice. She was making choices on that stage.
No, actually,
focus.
Can I just say, I don't think anyone else who's reviewed the show has picked up on this, but my favorite part of Vanjie's performance in this is when they switch scenes to where they're eating at the table and the maids are about to bring them food. It starts with Vanjie delivering a line that for the longest time I could not understand what it was. And what she's saying is hi, and it's supposed to be like hi, like Alaska, but she doesn't do it that way.
Oh my God.
And because of the way she said it, I couldn't even understand really what she was saying. But then you look, Scarlett kind of says hi or like waves or something. So it's clear that's what it's supposed to be. That's my favorite part of Vanjie's whole performance, just because it's such a train wreck. But also like so amazing at the same time. Like it's really good TV. It's really bad acting.
What was what she screamed when Michelle said that the cast had flavor? It's like a pogo or it's some sort of food. Oh gosh.
Adobo.
She just shouts it really quickly.
She says adobo. Yeah. I love her. I love Vanjie.
It's so funny. It's
Vanjie
just
is a
so
star.
Random and
Vanjie's
funny.
a star. She understands TV. She understands it better than Silky. who, other than her, I think is the person who understands TV the second best. Silky, I don't know. I've actually kind of already shit on Silky a bit, and I'm going to shit on her more when we talk about the look that she decided to wear on this night. But I will say that she irritated me a lot less this episode, but this wasn't a great episode for her. Silky, I think.
Okay, well, let's talk about the looks, because I think that, like, well, I'm going to talk about Scarlett, but we can talk about her when she wins, and I don't have much else to say. Okay. So I think we can just go to the runways.
Okay, because there's really nothing.
Very excited about this runway theme.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, because there's really nothing noteworthy to say about the other team's acting at all. It was bad. Everyone was bad. They said Sugarcane was good as Maxine Waters, and she wasn't. And she also wasn't being Maxine Waters. I didn't get it at all. I thought Plastique was good, but it's the kind of good it shows you that she's smart. And I think as a viewer, you should see that Plastique is more than just look. And she's actually playing the game really smart, but I don't think it's good enough to deserve a win. You know what I mean? But yeah, everyone else on that team sucked. Yeah. Especially Ariel Versace. She was the worst.
Oh boy.
I think there's...
I agree.
Okay, but yeah, let's talk about fashions, because I love to.
Yeah. So I was really excited about this particular runway theme because, Foster, you are, in fact, an astrology enthusiast.
I am.
How did you feel about them doing their own sign versus, like, being assigned so that all the signs could be represented?
I think this was actually probably the best way to go about it, because so here's the thing. If they gave them free reign to just do any sign of the zodiac, it would be Madonna kimonos. Don't you think? Like, no matter what, seven girls would come out as like a Taurus,
What if they just got assigned? They had to, like, pick them out of a hat or something.
Because then the problem is
that
they
didn't make these looks there.
Yeah, right. They didn't make them there, and you would either have to have it be the first challenge, which it doesn't fit with the first episode usually, or do it when you have exactly 12 girls. But then how do you assign it such that the girls who haven't been eliminated don't have a sign? You know what I mean? There's no real way to do it. I think this is the best way to do it, to have it look as your sign. Or even if they do it again, it can be a ball and give them one look to do there and one to bring. Something like that. But this theme definitely needs to be repeated again. I've wanted this for the longest time. I am a very big fan of astrology. I think it is such a misunderstood medium in a way. Like, I don't believe in horoscopes, but I think astrology is like a key vehicle for interpersonal communication, and to be able to learn and understand how people see themselves more quickly than like just normal conversation. That to me is the biggest appeal of astrology. And I think a lot of other people, and especially queers, like I think queers in general, at least our contemporary, are really into talking about astrology, whether they've thought it out in the way that I described, on the same kind of basis. It's more than just an icebreaker. It's a good way of getting to know someone in a way that they often don't feel comfortable just saying.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good segue into like introspection and someone talking about themselves. So getting into the looks, because there are many. Okay. First we had Brooklyn Heights as Pisces, and she had a nice little water look. I thought this was cool. I think it was like structurally interesting. I'm not sure it was my favorite, and I don't know if aesthetically it like really that I responded to it, but on a technical level I thought like, okay, this is, this definitely took a lot of work, and it seems all put together cohesively.
So a lot of people really like this look, and I didn't enjoy it. It's very clear that the splashy parts of it were done by the same designer, and pardon me, I forget his name, but he did a dress both for Shea Coulee in yellow with this kind of molded, plasticky looking stuff, and then also that look for Trinity from last season of All Stars. and her pink one that was
You
like
mean this wasn't designed by Evie Oddly with the plastic that she used the last challenge?
No, it was not. I didn't really care for this look though. I thought it was a safe look, but I was neutral at best about it. I thought it wasn't super flattering, and I didn't really enjoy the hair or makeup choices with it. I think with this dress, you could have afforded to go much more graphic and had an abnormal hair moment, or even like a non-hair hair. Do you know what I mean? Like something that looks more like a fin or like a horn or something. Or I would have liked something up and out of the face. And maybe if not like a graphic makeup, just like... I don't know. I just think there are a lot of other avenues to go with this. Pisces, I think all the Pisces girls didn't do particularly well with their sign, which to me is very odd.
Well, yeah, we'll get to Nina.
Well, no. Let me just say that to me that's very odd.
Not Nina. I meant,
excuse me. Okay. to me, I find it very odd because Pisces is like the dreamy sign. And like what Pisces does is like circumvent challenges naturally and easily. And so like... I think Pisces, to me, is one of the signs that should be the most in touch with this as, like, a challenge. And the Pisces girls were super basic and not good, if you ask me. So, moving on. Or what do you have to say? Anything further about Brooklyn Heights?
No, I actually, now that you mentioned the hair, I agree. I think that there could have been a way to like have the non-wig kind of like form into the splash, almost be like the head is like kind of lifting out of water, like I don't know how that would execute, but like
or
the
even
illusion of
even like wet hair also is a good option. Like just anything else, because it didn't make sense to me that the dress was supposed to be splashing and like mid-movement, but the hair is so drawn back and like it's stationary and flat and lifeless, and it's just also not the girl who's wearing this dress. So it was a no for me. I didn't like it.
I agree. So moving on to Plastique, I felt like from the top up, obviously this is very put together, it was giving me like a little bit of maybe like Cameron, a little bit of Pheromone, like definitely a Vegas kind of feel, I think. Okay. But then at like the middle section with the corset, it just starts to feel very basic. Like, I don't know. I wish that it could have carried through the entire look, because when she first entered and there's the mid shot, I think that is all so right. And then it just seems, it's almost like, you remember how Nina Bonina Brown used to have like put together look and then she's just wearing a corset and some tights? That's how this feels to me almost.
Okay. So here's what I think of this look. First of all, what was her sign again? Aries? I believe so.
Yeah.
So my first qualm with it is that this whole gold piece around the shoulder is feathers, and I don't understand what that has to do with Aries at all. But more so, the problem is that there doesn't seem to be any sort of cohesive thought to this look. What it is she looks like Pheromone doing drag, wearing 6 drag queen items that don't go together. Somebody else said that about drag queen items, but this was my thought too. I think it was Aquaria, actually. But she's absolutely right to clock this, because it doesn't say anything about the sign, but also it just looks like she combined stuff that she had, and they don't necessarily go together.
Yeah, I mean, she looks beautiful, but not super cohesive.
I feel like she just I feel like she just did not prepare a look for the Zodiac challenge and kind of threw stuff together. And she thought, oh well, it's a fire sign, so I'll wear this like phoenix mantle. Like the bitch, that has nothing to do with Aries. I didn't like it, honestly. If she had come out in just like an orange version of the 2 dresses she wore from the first episode, I would have been like all about it. Like, yes, Plastique, you're beautiful, amazing, you're a winner.
Oh my God.
But no, this missed the mark. It's a no. So we're currently 2 for 2 in looks that I really did not respond to and made me mad that they were blowing it, this amazing challenge. Yeah.
Well, Raja, your fave, was next with Capricorn, and I feel like I know how you're. I don't know. You say yours first for a change.
This is way too literal. I liked the hair, and that's about it. Because, like, her makeup was, like, literally, like, I'm an 18-year-old boy, and it's Halloween, and my costume is I'm a sexy goat, and my costume is I'm wearing just underwear. It's very that, the makeup. And the dress fabric was ugly. The dress itself was simple. The hooves were attached to the dress. I don't even remember if you could see the shoe or what was going on there, but I didn't like anything about this. It didn't speak to me. The hair was cool. I did like the hair. And actually I liked her eye also, but I think the rest of the makeup just got really derivative and very literal.
I agree that I did not like the fabric of the dress, especially like near the bottom. I didn't like much about it, but I thought that like the makeup, I know it's like literal and I usually don't respond to that, but I feel like it was just executed so, it was very clean, and I also like the jewels in the hair, the idea of making the horns out of hair, like that all is right, but the dress itself, I didn't mind even the hook. It was just like the dress fabric ruined it for me.
Yeah, I will say this. Even though I did just read her look, it is a decided step up from her last episode, so you got that going for you. Your earrings stayed on, or maybe you didn't put any on because you knew they'd fall off. I don't really... No,
there are big, chunky earrings, but she probably glued those suckers down.
Thank you for backing me up on that. I liked the hair. I didn't like anything else. If the challenge is, like, animal, sure, then I get this, like, literal makeup, but, like, to me it showed, like, no real thought. She didn't really interact with her sign or think about what it means to be a Capricorn. She just was like, oh, a Capricorn is a goat and a fish, so I'm going to be a goat, and so I'm going to make the fabric shiny. And that's not enough for me. That's a no. So now we have...
next up we had... 3 out of 3 that don't impress. Next up we have Nina West doing her best Eureka O'Hara. Oh my God, doing Leo. I did not like this. I thought that it was very basic.
This is horrible.
Horrible. I think this is more literal than Rocket. Yeah, it was just not great.
Literally,
not good.
I guess the thing that's supposed to look like a lion is this weird applique in the front, but the color read more like a tiger because they were arranged like stripes also. So literally if she went out in like a Kenzo sweater with just like the logo of the tiger, I feel like she would have been more of a Leo than she actually presented with this look. I didn't understand the weird like gold headpiece with this. I mean, it looked okay. It didn't look impressive.
It looked cheap. No. It looked like kind of like what Trinity wore a more expensive version of it for the top 4 lip sync. But I don't like these things in general. I just think that they always kind of look like cardboard, and I'm not into it.
I'm just going to say Nina has been in this game too long to not know designers that she could have tapped to make clothing that was okay, at least okay, for the show. And so far she hasn't shown us anything. Like last week she showed something. But even her entrance look was not good. So maybe she's like purposefully going for a Jinx Monsoon kind of edit and wearing bad clothes and knowing that her personality or talent will get her a little further. And so then she doesn't have to spend as much money on clothes and she can impress with clothes later at a lower standard because she's shown that she has bad taste in clothes. That, I think, is what she's doing.
Quite possibly. Okay, I've got to go in 12 minutes. So,
okay. Let's try and
just going to clip along. Honey was next, another Leo. I really enjoyed this. No,
I didn't like it.
I responded to this. I thought the hair was gorgeous. I thought that the fabric of the dress was wonderful. The way it moved, the way that it was just transparent enough. I mean, I guess the undergarments could have been a little less visible, but honestly, what is she going to do? Be naked? The makeup, everything about this. I don't care that it was literal. I thought it was beautiful. No. And she performed it well. The way that she used her hands, she had a command. I'm all about it. I thought it was gorgeous.
I'm glad that you like Honey Davenport. I thought the makeup was literal and derivative, and that didn't interest me. And if you take the makeup away, all it is like Dreamgirls outfit. She's in a production of Dreamgirls.
Who doesn't like a production of Dreamgirls? It's like Cats and Dreamgirls are in the same community theater. They're using the AD cast, and they don't have time to get out of their makeup.
Mary, it's nice, but it's season 11, and it doesn't impress me.
That don't impress me much. If that's the case, then what do you think of Sugar Cane doing this, like, Cable from X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom?
Sugar Cane cosplaying as Sorgy Thor on the red carpet for when she was wearing 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pounds of tubing on her head, progressively complaining about it, and it was getting a pound heavier every time. That's what this was. The bodysuit was interesting, but again, it's season 11. You need a little bit more than a bodysuit, and this didn't really give me Scorpio at all. It gave me, like Mortal Kombat. Gave me Sorgy Thor. The makeup was bad. The makeup looked ugly.
Yep. This is not a success. It wasn't flattering.
It's maybe the worst one. I don't know. Nina's is worse. So she's the second worst one so far. And I have liked none of these looks so far. Like, zero. I guess I will give you this because you like Honey. Honey's was the best so far.
Okay, I'll take that win. I'll take that. In addition, I think. No, I think Honey.
Let's keep going.
Okay, wait. Last thing I'll say about Sugar Cane is that this bodysuit was also, in addition to being weird, not flattering. Like, I don't know if she was cinched, but it looked like she wasn't, and there were a lot of angles that were not very forgiving. Also, she looked like Spectre from Mortal Kombat. Just specify that reference.
It was weird, and she really could have been in the bottom for this because I didn't think her performance in the challenge was good, but they put her in the top and thought it was good, and I'm just confused by the whole thing. So she's lucky.
Next we have Ariel Versace, Aries.
It's almost really good. And honestly, I still kind of like it, even though I've heard a lot of people say it's bad. I don't understand the weird, panel put in the butt because it looks like they ran out of fabric, or it's like they made the skirt and it didn't fit her, and obviously this material has no stretch. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Miss Ariel Versace lied about her proportions or gained a little bit too much weight. Maybe that's
or her pads are just larger, like she had it fit with smaller pads. I'm being a little kinder.
I was trying to go to a really catty place because she's such a bitch to everyone, and I don't think she deserves any courtesy. But because I don't really care about body shaming like that. But whatever the case, the face is beautiful. The hair was correct. The look was almost good. But even then, I don't think it's the best look. I
think this is
even resolving the inherent flaws. I don't think it's wow, the best look. No.
It's never been more apparent to me that she's an Instagram queen because it's literally from the shoulders up, it's sickening, and then it's like a Ryan Murphy show. It just gets worse as it goes on. The closer you examine it, the worse it is. Yeah, I feel that. But she's beautiful. Silky actually, she is beautiful. Silky didn't.
Beautiful. You remember that from season 7 when Kennedy Davenport just says, "But she's."
No.
It's amazing.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay, who's next? Silky?
Silky Nutmeg Ganache as Capricorn. And honestly, I didn't hate this. I thought that it was better than I would have expected.
What?
I was okay with it.
Honestly, I wish we had more time right now so that I could talk you into some semblance of reality, but this was one of the worst looks up there. This is the worst look yet, for sure. This is horrible. I will say this, the makeup that Silky was doing at the mirror that she took off of her face, the direction that was going was so much more interesting than what she actually presented, and at least made some continuous sense with what she was actually wearing. The only problem is I think it would further highlight the weird, bad quality of it. I don't understand either of the main fabrics at all. And I don't get what it says about Capricorn.
Yeah, I could not tell you.
It doesn't look like a goat or a fish. or the Earth or give you any semblance of the emotional qualities of Capricorn. So, no. No. Good luck next week, Silky. I know she can turn out a look, but I'm still waiting.
Yeah. I mean, people lived for, like, her promo, her entrance look. But anyway, let's move on. Evie Oddly presented the best look on the runway, in my opinion. Leo, a nice deconstruction of Leo. Totally, like, the performance, the eyes, every aspect of this is, like, honestly what this show claims to be about. This is, like, when you think back to, like, the Sharon Needles episode 4, I think season 4, or, like, just, you know, like, redefining drag. This is sort of, like, classic Drag Race star-making material. In her reel, this will appear. This will be one of the things she's remembered for. I was very much about this look.
I agree with basically everything that you said. I do want to preface my comments just by saying when I scored on first impression, this scored second highest for me. And the reason for that is when you look at it closely, there are elements that are lacking polish. That said, I think it was by far the best concept. It showed the most understanding of the challenge. It shows me that she understands what her view and what the meaning of her being a Leo is. She incorporated the symbol of the sign Leo on the chest of the look. I think it was the most interesting idea, the most dynamic. She made it more than just a surface level element. It was referential to both like the basic level of a lion, but like the idea was pushed further. I think it was great. This and her acting, because we haven't really talked about it, I think showed that she's standout. She won this episode for me. I think there's no reason she should not have been the sole winner of the challenge alone, to really emphasize and underscore that she delivered, she excelled, and Scarlett was there supporting her, but didn't do as good. I'm sorry. And that's just the reality of it. But yeah, that said, this is amazing. I loved this. And her performance with it was great too. So congratulations, Evie. After everything I said last week, you have shown me the things that I was asking to see from you. I would still like to see a little bit more of the weird, because I know you got it. So I'm a fan. Bring it on. I like Evie.
Yeah, absolutely. Even for this, like, the lack of polish, I think kind of, I don't know, it sort of adds to the charm of it in the context of the show. But that's neither here nor there. I believe the next look from Miss Vanjie is probably what was in your top initially.
This was, at first glance, my favorite look. This was just spectacular. This was flawlessly produced. Just beautiful. Exquisite in every way. I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, just looking at it is breathtaking. It shows a connection to the sign. But above that, she shone through. A lot of these girls looked like they were wearing cheap costumes. Vanjie's face was like lit up. She was living on the runway. She threw some petals. She had character, and the look didn't wear her. You know. So
I agree. The only distracting aspect for me was I don't know how you would get those things to balance properly. So she had to hold them for a lot of it. I don't know if they could have like added a structure coming out of her hips to like hold them up or whatever. I don't know. It probably would look atrocious no matter what. And so she just had to resort to holding them. But there were a few shots where she looked a little concerned, a little distracted in having to hold up the basket. But she made it work. I think this also reveals the huge advantage a year out as a Ru girl has given her. Because this was expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was expensive. Yeah, you're right. And we should acknowledge that. But that said, I think the show operates a lot on sliding scales, and which is ironic that we're talking about the Libra. But for her, I think she will always be held to a higher standard for what she is going to deliver on the runway because she has access to money and agency. And so far, she is living up to that standard. If she falls below it, I think Michelle's really going to hammer her for it, and she deserves to. So, yeah, and that too, Vanjie wasn't put in the top for a weird but enjoyable performance. on the basis of this look. So that to me tells me that they're not judging everyone quite equally. They're taking Vanjie's money kind of into context, at least so far.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was next?
Next up, we have Kyria Davenport as Pisces. This is a boot. I don't think we need to spend any time talking about it. It's really bad.
Absolutely awful. This is
dreadful. There's giving me some rainbow fish, pre-K, arts and crafts, but okay, it is notable that the fabric for her dress, like turquoise, scaly stuff, was spotted in the background of the workroom. So she definitely created this while she was on set.
She made it. Do you think so?
It's the same fabric as what's on the wall. Unless she covered up a pre-existing dress.
You think she just brought those fish and sewed it onto that dress there? I mean,
I think this may have all been materials that they were given within the workroom. I mean, it sure looks like it.
I don't think she made those fish in that time. She did not. She either had the fish or she had this whole dress. And if it's the latter, that's bad. And if
conspiracy theories aside,
go with it there, it's also bad. This is just horrible. This, I think, is actually the worst look on this runway.
I would agree with that. Her hair is
No, Kahana Montrese. Never mind. Sorry, Kahana's was worse. Let's keep going.
Oh, God. They really backloaded the bad looks. Mercedes, yeah. So Mercedes is really basic, and it's unfortunate. Her makeup was nice, at least. Kind of.
It was nice, but I hated the wig. I don't understand why there was weird gold glitter in the front of it. The props were bad. The loincloth thing was bad. Sorry, Mercedes. This was just not good at all.
Even the performance of the props, and she doesn't even whatever. So Kahana.
Yeah.
Did Kahana's dress rip on the runway? I feel like it was meant to rip off as a reveal.
No. It was meant to be a reveal, but she stepped on it and pulled it off before she meant to reveal it.
Did you love the sound effect that they added? Just the really loud rip.
Yeah. And the cut to RuPaul is pretty funny too.
Oh my God. This look was terrible. The wig was terrible. The horns are bad. Everything is bad.
She's terrible. She's not beautiful. Some of them. It's very bad. Very bad.
Lastly, we have Miss Scarlet Envy as Pisces, and I kind of think you're probably going to say this was on the nose. This was poor. I really liked it, even though. I don't know. I guess for something esteem, I'm okay with it being on the nose. The zipper in the back annoys me, but I think the makeup, it's the right fit. She looks beautiful. I think the bubbles could have been implemented in a little bit more of a seamless way and less of a I have some bubble gum. But overall, I thought.
Here's what I have to say about it. It's safe, but I don't like it. And to me, it seems very confused as a look. Because her actual appearance has a real severity. She looks unnatural, mean, uncomfortable, upset. But then her performance of it is she's bubbly and bouncing around, and she's doing these weird dance moves with her bubble gun. So I think that energy and the actual look and makeup itself are fundamentally at odds. I don't think it was bad. I think it was literal in a sense. I thought the bubble gun itself was interesting, but a couple people I've seen have said, why didn't you just cover it up so that it didn't clearly look like a bubble gun, which, why didn't she? Also, I thought the look really washed her out because it was it was purely monochromatic, a single tone of this cyan blue. And all of the white elements, both in the contacts and the makeup and pearls and stuff, it just really drained her. And I guess I get that she's embracing this whole fishy thing, but it read really uncomfortable. There's an uncanniness to it that it doesn't elevate you as a viewer; it just kind of unsettles you. And so it did not allow me to enjoy the work that was put into this look. I don't think it was very successful, personally. But that said, I wouldn't ever put it in the bottom. It's a
the girls are really
clean look. I just didn't like it, and it made me uncomfortable.
The girls are really going in on these colored contacts this season. There was just 4 looks on this runway that had colored contacts. Yeah, I think like the main takeaway for me was when she turned the corner and I first saw it. It was like, whoa, that made an impression. As it went on, I found more and more I didn't like about it, but I still think it's good. So, those are all the runway looks. We have Miss Mercedes and Miss Kahana in the bottom, which is no surprise. And then we get
we did.
we did.
Never mind. I thought we did talk about Kahana's look, but we just like steamrolled through it because it was that bad. Yeah, the wig was horrible too, and the horns were bad. Everything about this look was bad.
Absolutely. So Mercedes and Kahana are in the bottom, and we get to what I thought was an incredibly empowering moment, especially coming from Minneapolis, where Mercedes comes alive in that lip sync. And I just, with her storyline, everything has just been leading up to it, it was so just, I don't know, to see a true performer who just like gets into another mode when the music comes on. It's almost like a Beyonce Sasha Fierce kind of moment where it's just like, wow, something overtook her. And she really just like goes in and just like wipes the floor with Kahana, who was, before the season started, everyone was like, she's going to be the lip sync assassin. Nobody's going to beat her. And this little, like, seemingly meek, shy Mercedes just comes in and fills it. So I was very happy to see that.
She ate her alive. Mercedes, to me, was a different person when that song began than she has been the entire time that she was at Drag Race. And I don't know her well enough to know whether she is just shy and diminished being on TV, in the camera, in the limelight in general, or if she is the kind of person who does drag because this is how she lives her life and is actually inhibited in daily life. Do you know what I mean? And I have the suspicion that it's the latter. And so if nothing else, I hope what this show can be is a vehicle for her to have more opportunities to perform, because it's very clear that that is what she loves and loves to do. And I think what's especially refreshing, not just about the satisfaction that you get from the full story arc that was crafted here of Mercedes, you know, opulence, and then like all of her backstory, and now the proof that she is actually very good at performing and is a great queen. But beyond just that, it's very refreshing because this kind of brings us back to a time before Drag Race was really popular. And the things that would motivate queens to do drag and to take on the hardship that is doing drag before the notion of a TV show and this level of fame or sub-fame or notoriety or whatever could even be conceived of. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, no, when they were purely doing it for like the expression and the outlet and like the escape from, you know, the day-to-day hardship. And it's actually, like, genuine, yeah.
Exactly. Like, that to me is the most real form of drag. Because, like, most of these queens now who are getting cast on this season came up after Drag Race. Like, started doing drag after Drag Race started. And so their idea of why they want to do drag, what drag is, what self-motivates you, what the appeal of doing this is, why you do it, is completely different. And that's why these people, these queens do much better on TV, because they pursued this goal and like followed this craft, decided, you know, honed their talents based on the notion of the success of a queen doing well at this show, doing well on camera, having a likable personality, coming across well in interview or in recording. That is very different to what the idea of a good queen was before the success of this show. And so someone like Mercedes is clearly a natural performer. And it's often hard to say that about a lot of the queens who contemporaries now, even those who are very good at lip syncing. Because frequently what they do that makes them good on TV at lip syncing is different from what the queens who work in a bar 3 times a week actually do to appeal to a crowd. You know, they're separate things. And the saturation of the show has almost made us as viewer forget, or it's blurred this distinction between the two, because the mainstream success of this show has kind of overtaken, your mind's natural inclination to think what drag was before the show, And so that, to me, is what I liked and appreciated the most about Mercedes Lip Sync, is because without trying to, it reminded me of what local drag looks like when it's lovingly recorded and broadcast in HD and captured forever. What does local drag really mean? What is it? And that's not an insult to her performance, because it's amazing. It's a celebration of it.
Yeah, no, I think that's very well put. To be honest, that's also kind of how I feel about YouTube. Not to get too meta, but just as somebody who started before it was this driver of revenue, and people now start it for completely different reasons than why I started it, why people who started in 2007, 2010. So interesting, the parallels there. But I'm about to miss the boarding time for my flight, and I'm cold in this tunnel that I'm hiding in.
This is
yeah.
Record anything else you need to in post. You really should go.
Okay. Thank you for hopping on. It was fun. And send me the recording soon, please. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Absolutely. Okay, bye.